Hello, hello. Hope you are having an absolutely fantastic, amazing day. For those of you who are returning viewers, welcome back. For those of you who've never seen my face, never seen one of my videos, my name is McKenna. I own a digital media company called Studio SB Creatives, and today I want to discuss a topic that has come up in a couple other videos, but I wanted to give it its own video based on some things that are happening in my personal life right now. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of accountability and how that contributes to success. So let's just get right into it. First of all, what is accountability? Accountability is the ability to take responsibility and acknowledge that you are kind of in control of your own life. It's the ability to acknowledge and become self aware of your actions and your consequences, and understanding that what you do now will kind of affect your future, and that it's not necessarily the fault of the world or the people around you. Accountability comes more so from within inside yourself. So, like, what you do, the work you put in, will determine what you get out of something. And in previous videos, I've talked about how consistency is the key to success. Persistence, chasing something day after day after day, and eventually getting what you want. That is true when you are actively doing something. However, accountability needs to be taken for when you're not doing something, or when you do something and it doesn't have the results that you intended it to have. And when that happens, you need to be able to look at the situation and be like, okay, that didn't work. And then instead of blaming other factors, instead of blaming other people, instead of blaming the world, you kind of have to look internally and say, okay, what did I do wrong that put me in this situation? How did I get from where I was to where I am now and not where I wanted to be? You have to understand that not everything is going to work out how you intend it to happen 100% of the time. A lot of the time it's just luck, but a lot of the time it's also just trial and error. So with accountability, you kind of have to be able to look at those things objectively and be like, okay, so what do I need to change to get the results that I intend to achieve? And if you're not holding yourself responsible, if you're not holding yourself accountable, you're going to look at these situations where you didn't get the intended results, where you might have failed, and then you're just going to go blame, other things. You're going to be like, well, I put in the work. I did what I needed to do. It just didn't work out because of this person or this thing or whatever. And that is just completely wrong. And you're never going to get where you want to be thinking that way. Failure is part of success. It is part of the process. Most people are going to fail at something. Most people are not going to succeed on the first try, on the second try, on the third try, 10th try. That's where consistency comes in. You need to keep trying. But accountability is the ability to look at those failures and those not so big successes and try to figure out why that happened, why those things went the way they went. But if you're constantly blaming the world and other people and their inability to do something correctly, or the world's inability to just give you what you want, you're never going to get very far. That's just the reality of it. You have to be able to look at yourself and be like, okay, I need to change something. What is it that I need to change to get where I want to be? Like, even in my day-to-day life, I wish that I was working 24/7, 365, as hard as I possibly could all the time to get exactly what I wanted. But I'm not. I know that I'm not doing everything that I could be doing to get from where I am to where I want to be. And I'm not blaming other people for that. I'm not blaming the world for that. I am looking internally and recognizing the fact that, okay, I could be doing more. I'm not doing everything I need to be doing or that I should be doing to get where I want to be. And that's my fault. I am the reason that I am not yet where I want to be, or I'm not at least further along on that journey. And I know for a fact that that is a super important part of getting to the things that you desire and the successes that you want to achieve. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, I read a lot of books, and a topic that has come up more than once, probably more than 3 or 4 times even, is the ability to take accountability for your actions. So, you don't put in a whole lot of work, you don't get very far. you put in a lot more work, you might get a little bit further. Imagine that. I don't want to talk and exhaust this topic. I don't really have a whole lot to say on it. But if you are somebody who wants to achieve something, you want to be somewhere else in your life, and you're not putting in the work, you're not doing everything that you need to be doing to get where you want to be, and you're blaming other people for your failures, blaming the world for your inability to succeed, maybe it's time to start looking internally, doing some self-reflection, taking some responsibility, and looking at the work that you're putting in and seeing if the results match. That's not always how it's going to be. You know, you could work 24/7, 365 and get nowhere. But if you are doing that, something else, somewhere in that whole mix, something is wrong. And you need to be able to look objectively at those things. So I challenge you that if you are somebody who has issues taking accountability, issues taking responsibility, to just spend a little bit of time, look internally, and seeing if you can figure out where things aren't quite going right for you. Because if you're able to do that, you might actually be able to see where the problem is. You might be able to see exactly why you're not where you want to be. And that will be the first step to correcting that thing and then putting yourself back on track and back on the path that you need to be on to succeed fully in whatever endeavor it is that you are currently pursuing. So that is my challenge for you today, to go out there, look objectively at yourself as a person, and just do some analysis. See if you can figure out where the problem is, formulate some solutions, and then start enacting them, seeing if the work that you put in gets you the results that you desire. So that's pretty much all I've got for you today. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, want to discuss any of the topics from in this video, go ahead and drop me a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, you want to see what other crazy adventures I get up to in the future, because there will be some crazy adventures in the future. Or if you just want to see more of my face and you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful day. I wish you nothing but the best, trying to get everything that you wish to succeed in and achieve, and that you get all your desires in life. And I will see you on the next one.